work in the dirt. You can keep your wings clean. I'll work in the dirt. You can keep your wings clean. I'll work in the dirt. You can keep your wings clean. I'll work in the dirt. We don't cope, we destroy. Motherfucker, move back.
I've sent you a text message on the message system that my update has given me.
Check the chat, Rob.
Please make sure you can view it.
What am I doing?
The chat on here, on this thing, there's a chat bubble. Dan sent a message to you.
I just found it.
You totally lost me. On here or on my phone?
On here, on the bottom, you'll see a chat.
It's a new function. He's on his phone, isn't he?
Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm on the laptop.
Oh. At the bottom, it says, when you put your cursor at the bottom, it says chat.
Fuck you guys in the anus, yeah?
That's it. That's the message.
So we can chat while we're doing this, yeah?
Yeah. Sometimes we do the WhatsApp just to be a bit more subtle, and when the guest is really boring.
Right.
So like,
I've been somewhere like, get him off.
like when you were on last time, Dan was messaging me saying, "Get him off his shit."
I'm like typing, going, tell Dean to stop talking about being a vegan. Tell Dean that carbs are okay.
But what does he talk about otherwise?
It's true.
Wait there, let me get rid of my cat. He's a dick. Oh,
I hope he doesn't mean permanently. I think he's just removing him from the room. Although Johnny has got a new dog, so his cat might not last that long.
I'm going to try and prop my laptop up because the camera on my laptop is, believe it or not, guys, it's in between the F6 and the F7 button. So that's why the angle looks like this.
Why the fuck was
The camera's down on the keyboard, not in the top of the screen.
that's a terrible design.
Yeah, it's shit. So if I prop it up a little bit, then I don't.
I'm gonna take some tips off Jamie Johal. Jamie Johal knows all the angles.
Mm.
When he was on, I think his arms looked like the same size of my head. I've got a big head. We're good?
Hang on. Need to try and figure out how to balance this.
That is no better.
Like, how can we make this podcast more old school? Bring on a technophobe like Rob Cannon.
Oh, I have a shocking when it comes to this shit. And I'm at my parents as well, so I've not even got my Scarlett's not even here to help me out.
I'm sure we'll manage. So
Technology's the end. I bought my ex a vibrator that like has like a suction on it, and I never saw her again. That was it.
the problem is it's actually probably true. So we
I
did
bought LS3 and she still hasn't fucked off.
Fuck's sake. How did your rant about Ellis go down on the last one, pal? Did she see
Luckily, she doesn't watch any of it, so.
Yeah, that was brilliant, mate. You two literally had just had a blazing row, hadn't you? I could tell.
Well, we're not really rowers. We're
Right.
like bickerers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It doesn't generally go like full retard where I like kick the door in half.
Right.
It's just like, oh, you're doing that, are you? Yeah, okay, cool. That's how that is it? You know, like really horrifically passive aggressive. I see what you've done with the dishwasher. You've put all of the Tupperware and plates that way, so they hold all the water. So that when you open it, you move them, and then it makes the bottom shelf dirty as well as not cleaning the top. That's another good Alice trick. That. I mean, like the dishwasher is like it's just a cupboard so that the kitchen looks nice.
You know what? We should, as part of the show, we should all just talk about the fucking weird shit women do around the house.
I don't have that problem.
Yeah. I find hoovering a personal attack. Out there.
Why?
The hoovering never happens when you're not there. It has to happen when you've arrived. But you have to watch the hoovering for it to work. I think that's what happens. The hoover doesn't turn on unless there's two people in the room. So, I'll come back from work or whatever, and the hoovering must start then. It can't have happened because it only works. There's two people. It's something to do with the power, I reckon, because it only works when you can't do it when they're away. So it has to be, and always it has to be where you are so that you move. You must move the feet. You must not have feet.
Devil's advocate. If a tree falls and there's nobody around to hear it, does it make any noise? Does that mean potentially you just haven't seen her hoovering when you're not there?
That's ridiculous. What a ridiculous statement. But yeah, maybe.
For anyone who thinks that Dean has grown a beard and got a little bit bigger, well, quite a lot bigger,
and hairier.
This is not Dean. For anyone who's watched, obviously Rob's been on the podcast as a guest multiple times. We've now asked him to join us on a weekly basis.
Well, that's if the audience want me. They might say,
well, the audience never wanted me, Rob, and look how that panned out. I managed to move everyone else out of the podcast, and now I'm the only one left. I was like, Rob Crowley, go out into the... Oh, your pec's fallen off. Oh, no.
You mean Ryan Crowley?
What did I say?
Rob Crowley.
Same shit. That's how interesting it is now. Steve Crowley.
Steve Crowley. So on the last podcast, we had an update about me and Dan. Obviously, before we get jumping into the podcast, because we've actually got an agenda for a change.
Yeah, I've requested the agenda. It's made me very happy. I very much like the agenda. I couldn't cope. It was too much. And so now we have it. We don't actually do the agenda, but I do like having it. So I appreciate that, Johnny.
Yeah. I do have one quick question before we get to Rob's update. People have asked me, is Dan diagnosed with kind of ADHD or is it just undiagnosed? How does it work?
No, yeah. From yeah. I was medicated as a child.
Okay.
Not for very long because it didn't really help me out. It just made me kind of go blind. And but yeah, no, it's a real thing. But that doesn't make it any less funny.
Oh no, it's absolutely hilarious. People just wonder if it's actually...
But yeah, no, I don't want people to be like woke and be like, oh my God, he's mocking people that really have an issue. That's me. Shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah, and I think people just want permission to laugh at you. And if it's undiagnosed, they feel less, you know what I mean? If they feel guilty for laughing, you know what I mean?
Never feel, I worked in like a school for people with severe autism. And I remember like the first week and stuff, I was like, some of the stuff these guys are doing is like fucking amazing, like hilarious. And I remember going to the teacher, I was like, is it okay to like laugh? Because this guy's coming out some fucking corkers. And like, I know it's because he's got no filter. Like, can I laugh? And they were like, yeah, no, if you don't laugh, like you will cry. So, and then I was like, okay, cool, we can laugh. And we had much more fun after that because they came up with some fucking amazing stuff. And quite a lot of it I agreed with.
I mean,
you just got to avoid saying things like, oh, it's raining cats and dogs. And they're like, oh my God, I love dogs. Where are they?
Yeah, fundamentally, the problem was the first sentence. I worked in a school.
I worked.
You worked in a school?
Well, yeah, for 10 years.
You missed them days, Dan.
And at college, I miss parts of it. Yeah, definitely miss parts of it. But like with anything, once corporate structure drives like sales and figures, then they don't become people; they become clients, and it's just it's different. It's different. Yeah. You know, when you're chasing numbers over the quality of what you're doing, that was why I got out.
Yeah,
because you're not doing it for the fucking money. I tell you that for free.
What are you on about? You're an international coach now.
I'm an international coach now. I coach someone in Sweden. Victor, if you're watching, big up.
Right, before we get stuck into it, give us an update. Rob, how's things, pal? We haven't actually spoke for a while. I know there's some good news, but I'll let you break that on the podcast, I guess.
Oh, mate, loads has happened since we last spoke. Jeez. When we last spoke, I was 6 weeks out from the Arnold. So since then, I did 4 pro shows. didn't really place to mean anything, but I kind of expected that. But I was happy with what I brought to the stage, for sure. For my first time out on a pro stage, I was pretty chuffed with what I brought, and that was my only goal, really. Moved house, moved jobs, and been on holiday, and now have a baby on the way.
Ooh,
But yeah.
little baby Rob. Do you reckon it'll be like so hench that like your missus will just like like a little one of those dolls? What's it called? The little Russian dolls. It's a small price to pay. A wife for a small army of Robs.
Yeah. So yeah, just a lot has happened really in the last this year really, the last sort of 4 or 5 months. So
well, first I'll give you kudos for the showings, because in all fairness, pal, you looked fucking huge, and you didn't lack in size or condition. You stepped out there and you were in the mix, even though you didn't place. And even
Yeah, it's
more,
not like everyone was like, "Who the fuck's that guy? He shouldn't be there." It was in. It was fucking.
Which was that was my only concern, I didn't want to be that guy,
Yeah.
So,
well, and there's only one way to fucking find out, isn't there? Really.
Exactly. Yeah.
But even more impressively, obviously, whatever you were taking to look that good didn't fuck you up that bad, because you've got a fucking baby on the way.
Yeah, and
was that? Well, let's not say mistake, but was it a planned event?
So, okay, so what actually happened is we weren't trying and we weren't not trying. We were just cracking on as normal, without getting too much detail. And 5 weeks after we both got off stage, because we both finished competing at the same time, Romania was our last show last year. So that was second week in November, that show. 5 weeks after that show, we got pregnant.
Well, you're pregnant as well. That's amazing.
Yeah. Which was a complete shock to us both, because we were only 5 weeks off of, and we'd both just done 26-week prep. So, and 4 shows. Well, Scarlett did 3 shows because there was no figure division in France at that show that I did. So she did 3, I did 4. So it was pretty intense year prepping. And yeah, 5 weeks after, she found out she was pregnant. Which was a shock to us both, because especially for her and for me, but her body had, you could say bounced back pretty quick from, because, it's like when women diet hard, they lose their periods for a certain amount of time. And when their body fat levels become that low, their bodies are not functioning, certainly not in a fertility state, So, but unfortunately, we lost that one at the 6-week point. So we miscarried that baby at 6 weeks. And then 5 weeks after that, I'm pregnant again. And again, we wasn't like trying. We were just, look, won't put any pressure on ourselves. We'll just, carry on as normal. And if it happens, amazing. It'll happen when it's meant to happen, it'll happen again.
Rob, that's literally a carbon copy of my youngest daughter, my ex-wife. She felt pregnant, we didn't know. We'd been competing as a couple, and we'd been trying for a while. It never really worked, so we took the pressure off by competing in an environment where it shouldn't have happened. It happened, and then she lost it. But then obviously immediately after, they're quite fertile, aren't they, when they get the new fresh eggs and stuff. And then she just caught, and my youngest daughter was very similar story to yours. But so it's a bittersweet story, but it's, do you know what? But I think you make a superb father, absolutely superb father. You really would. But
how far along are you now?
15 weeks today.
So it's the official.
We're in the second trimester now. We had our first scan 2 weeks ago, and everything is up to this stage, touch wood, normal and wherever everything should be, and the baby's the right size. And
yeah, the first trimester is always the danger zone, isn't it? So I guess you guys, it's a bit of a sigh of relief that you're into that, and it's all looking good, man.
Yeah. We're obviously we're super chuffed and a little bit scared because I think that's natural. I think everyone experiences that when it's first baby's on the way. But obviously the excitement is overpowering the the nervousness, you could say.
Yeah, well, at least you haven't got to push it out.
Yeah. There is that. Yeah.
Small wins. The army's back.
Yeah, I was like, okay, the fur babies. I will stick with these.
Mate, that's one blast from the past T-shirt you got on there.
Yeah, I know. My sister got it for me for my birthday.
It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Fat Willies and Big Dicks were at the same time, weren't they?
Yeah.
Is he like coming back now then? That's the first T-shirt I've seen of that
well,
one.
No.
Oh,
But if it does,
yeah, you started it.
Yeah, I started it.
Mate, well, you should give him a call, see if you can jump on as an ambassador, get sponsorship.
Mate, can you imagine me on a surfboard? Fuck. It'd be like, it would have to be like that thick. Alex, if you're going to start walking around with your snatch out, you should shut the door. I'm just saying, if the short thing was going to evolve into something else. If you were going to invite the milkman over, just shut the door.
But talking about the surfboard thing, I remember seeing you on that paddleboard not so long ago when you just like sunk.
There's a weight limit on them, and I was above that. So yeah, Alice was quite good at it until she didn't look at the boat, and then she was like miles away, and she was like, "Oh my god, I'm fucking about to die." And then I told her, obviously, you can get off, and then she's not going to die. So there was a panic point, but yeah, I was not good for it. Paddleboarding is not going to be my.
What are you weighing these days, Dan?
I'm 130 now.
In pounds? I don't do kilos, mate. I'm used to pounds.
What's that, like 285 or something?
How tall are you again?
6'6", something.
What are you, Johnny? How tall are you?
I'm 6 foot and I'm 291 at the moment.
Yeah, that's big.
Johnny's heavier than me. I was like, I like did 300 and then like I pulled back and then I started prep last week, and then that was like 5 pounds fucked off, and then yeah, we'll just see where it goes from here. Really.
I'm sure you mentioned to me, Dan, that you'd stopped prep. You said you were starting Monday and then you scrapped that idea.
No, it wasn't the idea. I just fucked the dates up.
Oh, okay. I thought you. I didn't want to like ask, but
yeah, no, I didn't. I didn't do the announcement pull, but I did the recounting on like the iPhone, like 1, 2, 3. And I was like, oh no, it's not yet. So
it was bad as me. You had the syringe loaded up.
Yeah, I turned 39 like last week, so yeah, so I was able to have like a few people and eat some shit and stuff. You
sound really, really enthused about that.
Yeah, it was good. There were some people that are kind of, like's a strong word. But yeah, it was nice. My goddaughter came over and we ate some stuff, and luckily my goddaughter has a black mum, so that's cool. So that's lots of jerk chicken, and the rest is diarrhea.
More importantly, what does the biggest man on the podcast weigh?
Oh, I'm fucking smaller than you boys.
Fuck off. On the scales, maybe, because you're a little bit shorter, but
a little bit.
You're definitely not fucking small.
For me, I'm not massively heavier than that. I'm sitting at 250.
How old
So,
are you again?
sorry,
41?
5'7".
Oh yeah, yeah. So relatively, still heavy.
Well, it's muscularity.
Yeah.
Probably it's more
And
muscular.
you've seen his joints? They're like fucking children's joints. Muscle just hangs off him.
Certainly make it look like that. That's the thing, is why everyone likes thing in the weights as well, and like people that are big. And actually, some like there's a middle ground, isn't it? People that are big, like are big. Oh, you've always been big, and their ability to put on muscle seems like better. But if you don't have the correct insertions, you can be big and not look muscular. And it is a muscularity contest, so you can go and weigh whatever you like on stage and be massive. But if you don't have the insertions correctly, it takes a lot to like mold that into something, so it's probably like harder. So there's like obviously a middle ground. You don't want to be like someone who's like a beanpole, which, well, technically I kind of was, but yeah, it's a muscularity contest, isn't it?
I feel like that's a dig at Wayne Crowley again.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you think recently there's been seems to be a fashion or a phase for people wanting to get to 300 plus?
see, I think that 300 is now in the past. Like lots of people are like, do you remember when like the 300 kilo deadlift was like a thing? You're like, if you could deadlift 300, that was like, and now that's like chump change.
That's like warm-up sets.
Yeah, fucking everyone's doing 300. I remember pulling 300 the first time, like fucking God knows how long. Probably before pigeons were invented. But then, like, yeah, now it's like, yeah, people that weigh like 70 kilos are doing it. They used to do a t-shirt at our gym, actually, like the 300 club. And then they just stopped because like everyone was in it. It was like a shit club.
Talking about body weight, did you guys see the posing video of Samson for this weekend?
But the guest spot,
yeah,
he's just taking the piss now, isn't he?
I know. Come on, like
it's like the thing is, right? Like people like Samson, he's 50% inspiring as fuck, and then the other 50% you think, oh, why do I even fucking bother? So
Mark my words, 3 years. 3 years until he's Mr. O. That's my bet.
Yeah, even at this trajectory.
I reckon within 3 years. But Matt, I reckon. The thing with Samson as well is that like he came in and smashed like the amateur like without even really doing anything. He's only just warming up in training age. Because he's like round about my age, and he's like just getting started. Like, I guess what he was doing before, he hasn't smashed his body to shit. He's still got a lot of stuff to go. And how he's just growing, just like through all the shows he did, he was just getting bigger and bigger, and it just didn't make, well, it still doesn't make any sense. And I'm offended.
Well, he was a late starter in the sport, wasn't he? He didn't start training until quite late.
But it's worth noting as well, Rob, the other day, my nemesis, Jay Davis, trained with him, and he posted on his story saying, all this does is highlight to me the genetic difference. He said he realizes how hard Samson doesn't need to train to grow. Like, it's all just, he goes in there, gets a connection, feels what he needs to feel. It's like, a point where he's comfortable. Not saying he doesn't train hard, like for him, but he doesn't take the intensity to the level of the likes of like JP and yourself and Dan. He doesn't take it to that level. He doesn't need to. And like for that reason, he'll stay fresh for fucking a long time.
I was just about to say that. So that right there is giving him even more miles on the clock than the likes of us boys, because we have to go in there and fucking hammer it.
Yeah, Dexter Jackson. Like that's the reason he like could just do that.
Yeah.
I remember meeting Dexter Jackson and put my arm around it, expecting it to be like soft kind of muscle, but it was fucking rock hard. Like his trap was like a brick. I was expecting some sort of like filled up sort of sack, and it wasn't at all. It was fucking
a bag of rocks.
It really fucking was.
Sounds like you had a bit of a semi.
Oh, man, it wasn't a semi, mate. It was full throttle. Charles Glass was there as well. I was like, I think I've seen a movie like this.
Now you're going to get lots of offers in your inbox.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like you know we all fling around the genetics phrase a lot, you know, but it does make a huge difference in this sport. Like,
Well, here's the other thing that I can't remember. Like, I've stolen the thought process of someone else, but it was something else, is that mentality genetics is a thing as well. You know, like you see often people that are genetically gifted and they never do anything with it because genetics is also mental as well. But when you get the combination of two, you get Ronnie Coleman. And Samson's like, his training trajectory is getting harder. He is on a curve.
Yeah.
And so, like you said, like he's got miles left. You know, he could be like still like getting bigger at like 45. You know, obviously Dexter Jackson did like 40 and then just stayed the same, didn't he? Really, for like 10 years.
To me, the epitome of mental genetics is Branch Warren.
Yeah,
because
he is mental.
He absolutely maxed out his physique in every millimeter that he had, all because of this. You know.
Do you think that anyone else could have grown like that? Because I do use Branch Warren as a good like marker in the sand, because then you look at Johnny Jackson and you're like, well, Johnny Jackson trained his legs the same as Branch Warren and they were wank. So there was a certain amount of like genetics that allowed him to find the training style that like worked, like partial reps on the leg press with 1 billion kilos, like, and they just exploded. And then Johnny Jackson did it, and it certainly wasn't the same.
Right.
Well, you can see the physiques that have had to go to the trenches, that tissue, you can tell the difference. But like James Hollingshead's one of them. He was never the upper echelon of, you know, genetic elite. He had an element of it, the same as like Branch and whatever. And I'd even put Rob in that category. Have you seen Rob's before photo? He looks he looks like AIDS. But now he's like fucking got muscle hanging off every fucking joint. So like you can see the guys who've had to really work hard for the tissue. And then you can see the guys who generally didn't need to work as hard, but have the genetic capability of putting tissue on a lot easier. And as a rule of thumb, they look fresher.
Yeah.
Look prettier. They haven't had to go tearing shit off.
And the waist isn't blown, like Samson's waist is tiny.
I always like to use the analogy of like our physique's been like cars. If you got a car and you're fucking ragging it every fucking day, it's only gonna be so long before it starts falling apart and the fucking engine blows. And it's the same with our physiques, you know. If you can get by with going to the gym and, you know, doing a little bit compared to that next guy, you know, and a little bit of drugs compared to that next guy and half the amount of food compared to that next guy, then you're going to be able to do that for so much fucking longer. Because, you know, if you're driving your car with respect and care and you're parking it in the garage every night outside and you're not fucking foot to the fucking pedal to the metal, you know, every single time you take it out, that car's going to last, you know, forever, so to speak, you know.
Well, I seen a post on Tom Hames's story. People were asking questions. Somebody asked, what's the average total gear use on a weekly basis for a super heavy competitive bodybuilder? And he put between 2 and 5 grams. 2 and 5 grams are two vastly different fucking, you know, sort of doses. And 2 grams to me is still fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
But he put, that was as a coach, and this is obviously something that he deals with firsthand on like hundreds of clients' bases. He put 2 to 5 grams. And immediately I was like, Dan, sort me out.
Yeah, I mean, I spoke about this, like you know, health, whatever, like maybe a bit more now, but when I was starting out, I would have done anything. And if 5 grams was what did it, I would do it. And to be honest, I probably would now, to be honest. Okay, totally honest. But there's a threshold for me of diminishing returns, and it makes me feel so shit that like it's just the cons outweigh the pros. like, also, is it obviously everyone metabolizes it differently, what they can utilize, it's like different, you know, like, but I don't know how your body would even cope with, because obviously you're putting a foreign body, even if it's not get like in that many times, how is your body not having a stress response to like having that much, like, you know, like like the test flu, like seems a bit like you put the first one in, it like kind of hits you, you're like, oh, I feel a bit ropey, like your body's obviously having like, what the fuck is this? Let's try and like fuck it. Or how do you then go up to foot? Like, how much is that in volume? We're talking about like 40 mil of oil a week.
Yeah.
Oh my, really?
Yeah, I mean, where would you put it? Like, I would just be, fuck that. I hate doing the ones that I do. Even after all these years, I still have like a routine I have to follow, and like I have to psych myself up to do them, and that's like 3 times a week. Like, if I was doing that much, I think I would literally just quit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anyone who does 5 grams other than the stories that I've heard. I certainly haven't invited anyone.
The thing is, Dan, there's, you know, we know full well there's probably a lot of guys out there doing it, but they're never going to fucking admit it.
Are you one of those guys, Bob?
Mate, I'll be honest with you, the most I've ever used is 2 grams a week, and that wasn't for long because I felt like shit. So my sort of threshold is 1,200 to 1,500 max when I'm on a course. That's where I feel the best, and any more than that, I start, like Dan was just saying, I start to feel like yeah. I tried going up to 2 once and never again, and that's hand on heart, you know. That's the truth.
I mean, in prep, overall load, like mine's actually quite low. I'm probably like under a gram. Probably like around 9.
It's relative, isn't it? Because obviously the compounds,
the compounds are like different, but I guess I mean, I don't know where they're pulling the numbers out. I find the idea of doing like a gram of fast acting like a heinous amount of gear. But hey, if it works and you can do it, like I said, like I'm not going to pussyfoot around it and pretend that I'm doing it for some self-righteous reason. If I knew that it would do the thing, I would fucking do it. You know, and especially in my younger years, what, like, oh, it's dangerous? Fuck off. Who cares? Like, do you know what I mean? So the younger guys that are doing it, but then as well, it's like look at the difference now. Like the gear in the lab is so readily available. A lot of it's shit. Is it really 5 grams? Like,
yeah, there's that as well.
Like, kind of like even in my lifespan, sort of like maybe 10 years ago, like you had to be invited to have an option to obtain this sort of thing. It wasn't like you can just get it. It was like, you know, and now it's like fucking everywhere. There's labs popping in and out and stuff like that, and there's loads of shit around. You know, is it really happening? I mean,
there's almost as many labs as there is coaches nowadays. But last week when you said we live in a land of coaches, I was fucking pissing myself.
Mate, I got loads of shit. I got loads of shit. Loads of
backlash, didn't you? What was the backlash?
I got told I was a bitter old man. Stuff.
Was that by a coach by any chance?
It was by like a 12 stone wet. Like, I mean, I'm many things, but I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter. I am old. I am, yes. I am old. Am I stuck in my ways? Not as much as people think. I'm not bitter. I'm definitely not bitter. No.
Thing is, you're really just talking the truth, mate. You know, that's all you were doing.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with having like a coach, but I do. I mean, I wish I had the balls for that. That's what I find it hard to have confidence in doing the coaching that I do. Probably have like that's why I kind of don't put it out like as much and stuff, because I still find it like this. It's like anything. It's like music. Like there's so much. It's infinite. You know, no coach can be, you know, like a toxologist, like a physiologist. Like these are entire careers in themselves. No one can be an expert in all of them. It's an endless information, and the research is constantly changing. I think it's very hard to call yourself like an expert when there's so many different like factors. I think that that as a coach, you need to know what you need to know, rather than kind of pretending to be an expert in loads of different things because you read a synopsis of something you don't necessarily understand. And I think some people need to put their hands up and be like, well, actually, I'm not an expert like at that. I'm not, and just go, I only know like the application use and stuff. There's some areas I love reading about stuff and I love getting geeky and I do get into it. But like ultimately, what are these research papers teaching you? Well, if you've got a client base and you've used yourself, that's primary research, and that's what a lot of these people are doing. And you're doing it in a demographic of people that are actually bodybuilders. So sometimes your own experiences are actually just as useful, if not more useful, than a lot of these like studies, unless they've purposefully selected bodybuilders. Otherwise, they're just run-of-the-mill people. And the variables involved in the research are what we would call in like research, because obviously I've done like an MA and stuff, we would call them like it would be invalid. So you look at the methodology, how did you take the information, like how many issues to validity are there, like the age are they trained, what are they doing when they're not doing this testing as part of the research. Like there's so many variables, little pinch of salt on most of it, to be honest.
And also who's paying for the study.
Well, that's another thing when you look into like the reasons of a lot of these like things. Well, who paid for the research for the thing where people got sick a couple of years ago? Where there's money, it's pharmacology, right? But there's not. The goal of like, so you've done like a photo shoot, so not even a show, and like now you're a coach. I'm just like, fair play for having the balls that big to have like done, like to have got in like not really shape, and now you're going to tell other people how to not really get in shape. As fair play. I mean, that the goal on that for me is like is respect. You know when someone's like a real fucking nutter, like so not like they're like an absolute nutter. They're actually like a massive cunt like nutter, and you're just like, fair play.
Yeah, you're more appalled at the people who are willing to pay them.
Yeah. But I just like, yeah, like sound, and if it works, the saturation. The coach thing at the top level is like they're like compete. It's like a second show, isn't it? It's like WWF. It's like there's that show like thing, and then there's like the coaches are like competing like in their own show, like as a subsidiary. Like it's quite interesting to watch, like as a zoom out. There are loads of really great coaches, and the number one thing that you should look for to coach is someone that you get on with, that spends time to actually learn you as like a person. There are loads of really great ones, but it is hugely like saturated.
What I'm waiting for, Dan, is for you to update your coaching page bio with the number of trophies that you won, which is completely fabricated because nobody can validate them. Just put that in there. 1,050 first places.
I mean, fair, there's some good numbers. Do they have it on their phone? Is there like, or do they just update it on Instagram? Because
it's like the number of women I've slept with. It's like after a certain point, you know what I mean?
I just count the corpses.
This is the thing. It's at the point now where you don't have to prove anything anymore. You just have to write whatever the fuck you want on your bio, and that's it. That's what's happened. That's what you are. So yeah, just we you know.
I think Cuba said something really good, because he was saying like you shouldn't really approach your coaching as a business. You shouldn't look for like corporate style advertising and stuff as because all of that obviously is money making. He said you provide a service and people will come. It's a service. Yeah. Okay. Obviously it is a business in itself, but if you start recruiting the same tactics as like corporate structure, which is you see courses you can go on about how to like stuff like that. I think Cuba's message about get a good service and wait for people to come is a much better kind of way of thinking about it. But that's probably why I've got no money.
Well, I mean, back in the day, word of mouth was the kind of the holy grail of what it took to become successful in this industry, as whether it's a coach or whatever. But and obviously word of mouth still does go a long way, but it's social media has kind of taken that away to a degree, and it's just now whatever you spiel out on social media is what people listen to.
Yeah, I mean, but I think as well, there are a lot of people there, but like now it's like, well, I start bodybuilding, I have to have a coach. They don't listen to them, but they have the coach.
Oh no, they have one coach and then they jump to the next coach. None of them will give them Pop Tarts.
I'll give you Pop Tarts if you come to me. But it's £50 a month extra.
I like that plug.
So yeah,
if somebody actually sends you a message,
hit me up.
Right, let's get into this agenda. The first part on the agenda was quite an interesting one. It popped in my head, and I thought it'd be really cool to ask you both the question. It is essentially life restrictions in terms of being a bodybuilder. What is the biggest life restrictions that you have?
Clothes shopping.
Well, yeah. And if you weren't a bodybuilder, what would you be doing? So I'll ask you the question first, Rob, since you're the new co-host. What's the biggest restrictions? And if you weren't bodybuilding, what would you be doing?
Don't say sex offender.
At the same time.
I mean, small world problems like clothes shopping, having to, I suppose one of the worst things is, especially when you're in prep, you tend to miss out on life events or things that you would normally wouldn't bat an eyelid to go into, like family events or, you know, going away to, you know, be with friends or whoever it may be, because you're stuck in a routine and you have to stick to that routine. You gotta put at the same time every day, eat meals at the same time every day, do your cardio, do your training, and obviously there's so much you kind of miss out on life that you normally would do if you wasn't in that, especially that prep sense, you know, that prep mode. You know, obviously we put our health at risk to a degree doing what we do. If we wasn't a bodybuilder, we would, in so many ways, would be healthier.
Well, you can do a health phase now.
Yeah, true.
If you take certain supplements, then gear doesn't count.
Yeah, I snorted that.
In the summer, constantly being fucking hot and sweating like a fucking pig. That is shit. I'm constantly. I got my fan blowing right on me right now.
Yeah, if I put my hand on my crevice of my elbow right now, it sticks.
Yeah.
I've got heat rashes in both of my elbows.
Having to shower 4 times a day when it's this hot is just a fucking annoying.
Fuck them. They can smell me how it comes. Fuck them. I don't give a shit who you are. In Sainsbury's, people vomiting. Live with it.
That's just when they look at your face.
Yeah, so I mean, fucking hell. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. There's so many. Go on, Dan, you jump in.
Not doing cocaine.
That's the restrictions.
That's the restriction. I mean, I think that the one of the biggest things is money, and that leads into like missing out on stuff. Well, the amount of money that you spend on this, that you could be doing other stuff with, like holiday or having like I mean, obviously, this is obviously where the appeal of coaching comes, because it's very lucrative and you can adjust it around your life. So that's why a lot of people are very much like into it. I quite liked having a job because I love mental space away from bodybuilding. So that was one thing that I'm actually like worried about with this prep, is that I won't be able to put on my teacher hat and escape. Because you know what I mean, when you're on the one track, it's like you never need to think that much. You kind of need to just be a robot when you're a bodybuilder, right? You just need to do your stuff. But I think it's a huge financial strain, and that's before you get into GH, because that doubles everything.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I try my best not I mean, obviously, I don't really have I've got my mum and my sister. There isn't a lot of family stuff going on. But I try and just take my Tupperware and just try and it's been going on long enough. So when you get stick, have a biscuit. It's your choice. Have a biscuit. Obviously, fuck the biscuit. But yeah, I think it's the freedom of fuck it. But I don't know, in terms of me missing out. I love being structured, and actually I was in a really shit place before that. So actually the freedoms and all the things and stuff was actually too much for me. I actually much prefer the bodybuilding lifestyle of knowing what I'm going to eat, it's in the fridge, I don't have to worry about, because it would spin me out having too many things to think about. And so I actually like the things that other people would call a restriction. I think when you're younger, it's different because, you know what I mean, your mates are going out, they're doing all the things that they want to be doing. And I think that I'm glad that I started a little bit later, because I still kind of did that. And so I think when you're young, when you're 40 or whatever, it's what do you do when you're 40? Your mates are all kids and stuff there's not really much going on anyway. So I would say maybe just having financially opportunities to go away more or something like that. But get a dog, and you can't go fucking anywhere anyway, because no one's gonna babysit a 55 kg Corso. So.
Well, yeah, most people don't pick a dog that big, to be fair.
No, but yeah, I don't find it that that. It is restrictive, but in terms of suitability for me as a person, it's perfect. And it actually helped me structure the rest of my life so that I could go from actually a fucking a mess to actually going and doing my education, becoming a teacher. And I learned that bodybuilding was first, and I learned all that from the. So I don't see it a negative side to that. What would I do if I wasn't a bodybuilder? Something that was equally all-encompassing. I've always had a thing, whether it was ice hockey or skateboarding. I have to have a thing, an obsession, or maybe one thing. Music's kind of always been on the side, although that has taken a sideline since teaching, because I kind of drained quite a lot of the love for it. But it just something. But
let's just hope coaching doesn't have the same effect on your bodybuilding.
Oh God, don't. I have thought that. But yeah, something physical, because that's what I needed. I needed something physical as an outlet. Definitely didn't go, lots of people have the things, I saw a picture of Arnie and I was he's so veiny and lush, I want to be like him. I never had any of that. I was just an angry fucker, and someone would pick that up. I'll pick that up. And I went, I feel a bit bad, actually. And then I just did that, and it got out of control. And so, yeah, it would have been just something else. And I found that I was all right, or at least better than the other people that were around me doing the picking stuff up. And then it just kind of got out of my hand. I found something that I was relatively good at. Unfortunately, by the time I realised that I wasn't really good at it, it was too fucking late.
Yeah, were you training at a Pure gym at the time or something?
Well, yeah, fitness, I think it was fitness first. Well, I started in my bedroom, obviously, 6 months I was on tag.
Oh, so, yeah, no wonder you were the best there.
Yeah,
I was the best in the bedroom. I had 2 pet rats. They weren't that good at it.
Pure gym went around back in them days.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, fitness first. That was the first gym.
Yeah. The first gym chain, wasn't it? Was fitness first.
I think the reason I asked that question is obviously, thanks to Dan's help. I am the biggest I've ever been, and I'm finding new restrictions on a daily basis. And so it's just little things, obviously the clothing thing has always really been an issue for me, but even more so now I'm having to wear what most would regard as a nightie, as a t-shirt. It's just the general sort of day-to-day, wiping my ass, getting cramp in my side, I can't even reach my fucking asshole.
Have you ever had plantar fasciitis, tendonitis in the tendon that connects your foot together? Because that's what I've got at the moment, and it's fucking minging. So where your foot, the tendon that connects your heel to the rest of your foot, because your arches start to collapse, you get tendonitis in that shit. That's
I got flat feet, so I'm alright.
Oh, so when they flat, it goes away. Okay, I'll just work.
Well, no, it's because they've always been flat. So they've always from being arched to being flat. So I've always had like the duck run going on with the flappy feet. I played semi-pro rugby with that, mate.
I've actually the clothes, TK Maxx, right? So the little rungs on the hangers only got up to XL. So you're like, well, XL, that's not going to fit. But it's actually the little rungs that only got up to XL. If you look in the XL, there's 3s and 4s that obviously TK Maxx have got because no one buys those sizes. You pick up some bargains in there, mate. Yeah. That's a top tip for bodybuilders. Found some 4XL shit in there. Got myself a Ralph Lauren fucking tent. That was good. So that's a top tip. I mean, I've never been into fashion. Looking like Stig of the Dump turned inside out. I was never one for suit and booting myself. But I hate wearing tight stuff. Don't know whether you're like the same. I fucking hate it.
Well, my biggest problem is I've gone from prep to the biggest I've ever been in my life. And unless I plan on throwing all of my wardrobe out, occasionally I run out of 4 and 5XL t-shirts, and now if I wear a 2XL, I look like somebody's painted it on me.
Yeah, I have different like sections. I only wear like 3 t-shirts that are at the top anyway or whatever, and I just cycle. And then if I'm on prep, then maybe I dig in a bit and then see where the threshold is. And then if there's like, even when I'm at my lowest prep, then those get binned. And then it's like an ascending kind of wardrobe. Just with loads of t-shirts that says like, fuck yeah, or smash the back, yeah, or like, those sorts of t-shirts.
Well, it's quite funny because it's Father's Day today, and my youngest daughter's mother, it's the effort that counts. She bought me an Under Armour t-shirt. Pulled it out, this is quite nice. Looked on the tag, XL. That's XL saying, you cheeky bitch.
That's probably she's going off the label size when you probably still together.
Yeah, it was 7 years ago, but even then I don't think I was an XL. I think my head doesn't fit through an XL.
I think the heat is probably the worst thing.
Yeah, no.
I agree. I think
check this out. Oh. Found these on Amazon. Right, I think you guys should definitely buy some.
I've heard about these.
Headphones.
I've heard of this.
You're fucking superb, guys, and I think you definitely should invest. The fans sit there. Fucking amazing. I'm not joking. I wear them to the gym and everything. It looks like I've got headphones on. I haven't. It's 2 fans.
Do they actually make a big difference?
Yeah, man. They're really loud and powerful.
I'm going to put them under my joggers.
One on your cock, one on your asshole.
They probably dissolve from the stench, to be fair.
Yeah, really good, man. Really good.
I think if people are looking at bodybuilding, they're thinking about it being that restrictive, and it's a fight. Like, just don't fucking do it. Like
What else do we complain about, Dan?
Well, I complain about loads of stuff, like other people, like cyclists, and like, people that cough too loudly. People that breathe in and then out. It's fucking, normal stuff. Old man stuff. Shout at the TV, watch the chase, get angry at the people on the chase, even though I don't know any of the questions myself, but they're idiots. Yeah, just old man stuff. Old man stuff.
You see, what really fucking frustrates me is I still can't believe that in the UK, right, when it gets hot here, it gets fucking hot. But none of our homes have fucking air conditioning. So we have to have our fucking windows wide open to try and get some sort of coolness in or some sort of breeze. And then all the fucking midges come in. So you literally can't fucking win. You're roasting and you got all the fucking midges coming in fucking biting you to shit. And it's like...
I heard we're doing it the wrong way around. I hear it in the Mediterranean. They open all their windows and everything at night, and then in the day they shut everything and put the blinds over. I think we're caught up in the summer thing. We want the sun coming in. Now that obviously, like, we've dissolved the Gulf Stream or whatever, need to reverse it. Reverse it.
What we got though is if we all have aircon, our fucking energy bills are through the roof already. Imagine how much it's ridiculous, man.
Yeah. I mean, like, I lived in America for 2 years, and I lived in Utah. And Utah, the climate out there is very similar to here. It's just a little bit more extreme. So the summer lasts, the heat lasts longer, and it's generally a bit hotter. And in the winter, it's more extreme in that there's loads of snow. But every single home out there has got air conditioning, and not only that, all the windows have got the grates on them, the nets. So when it's not sweltering outside and you don't need your air conditioning on, you can have all the fucking windows open. No midges come in. Nothing comes in. No flies. Nothing. So it just.
Can I ask a question? Have you got aircon or any nets or anything like that at your house?
No.
So this is what we're talking about. We're typical bodybuilders. Did you moan about it?
You can't buy nets. Nets don't exist in the UK. There's an embargo.
We just bought a brand new house, and I still to this day cannot believe that they're not built with air conditioning units, or at least fucking windows that have.
That's the least of your worries buying a brand new house these days. The way they fucking throw them out.
Yeah, mate. There's been a few issues. To be fair, not too many. So I'm actually quite happy. There's been less than I thought. So yeah.
Ellis's dad built this, so I'm gonna write him a letter about the aircon thing.
Yeah, they don't make them like they used to, Rob. I wouldn't buy a brand new house now. It's like
I think they've got a little bit better than they were. I think they've got. I think they go back sort of 10 years ago. They were really bad. I think they've sorted themselves out a little bit from what they were.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll be standing in 300 years.
No.
But you will be. Once they've invented the thing. I'm just waiting for the thing. Don't know what it is. Do an injection, live forever, ton of steel.
No, what you're missing out on is Dean's lifestyle hacks, and then you'll live forever.
Yeah, just no carbs before marbs or whatever it was. Actually, no, that's Love Island, I think. But anyway.
We talk about it, mind. Actually, ironically, we poke fun at this whole thing. And obviously, Dean's been through phases in his life where he was a meathead like us, and then he's going through this stage and that suits him. But like Ben Chow put a post up the other day, and he was fasting or something, but he's obviously got liver issues. And he said he did like a fast for 24 hours. And like all he did was rave about how good it was. And this is a guy who's coaching like, big bodybuilders. And I'm guessing from what he was saying that the health benefits are actually really fucking good. But I'm afraid at this point in time, I'll wait until I've officially quit rather than just partially retired.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? From like, we haven't evolved that much, like that we would have as humans gone for periods of time without having food. Your body hasn't caught up genetically from evolution, knowing that Tesco's exists. Like, makes sense that like running on empty was like probably a regular thing. I had this conversation about hunger with people like you can't do this because I'm hungry, and it's like, well, even like a generation or two generations ago, like hunger was probably a primary feeling. Like that was like 99.9% of the people spent almost all the time being hungry. It was just a background feeling, not talking like hundreds of years ago. We're talking like probably like my mum as a kid, or like definitely her mother. Like it's that we're tuned into like, if you're hungry, you must instantly remove that feeling by eating a Snickers or drinking an energy drink or like whatever. And it's all like, obviously all of that's just bollocks, isn't it?
I'm enjoying feeling hungry, to be honest, because I know what's coming in the next couple of weeks.
Oh mate, it's been a fucking probably like, well, since Arnold that I've been hungry. My appetite is wank, and even more so in the summer. So I'm glad to be on prep in the summer. Winter prep, like, yeah. So like trying to bulk in the summer is just, I did it last year when it was like 40. Do you remember last year it was 40?
Yeah.
And I just led in my bed with the aircon unit just up my arse, basically. It was utterly fucking horrendous.
Yeah.
I'll let you know. how it goes.
Huh?
Let's do it again.
I was just saying that period of time when it was that hot, it was unbearable. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was crawling the fucking walls.
Yeah, well, I'm pushing for a record weight on this next one, and yeah, I'm gonna be that guy. Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna be like a snowman, melting everywhere I fucking go.
What was it? I saw on the news, since a mild start to the year, we're soon to hit a heat wave. And I'm like, this is not the heat wave. This is the mild bit now. This is mild. I don't remember. Well, 40 never happened in my lifetime, that's for sure.
No. And not as often as it does now. Like it's definitely hotter these days than it used to be when I was a fucking kid, teenager in my 20s, you know, like without a doubt.
What I hate about the hot weather as well is that I'm old and boring and I like sitting on the sofa. But the sun somehow makes me feel guilty that I should go out and enjoy it. But I don't enjoy it.
And then you walk out there and you're like, fuck this.
Yeah, but then, so now I feel guilty about doing the same thing. Maybe I'm playing some ice hockey on the PlayStation or whatever, or like, but then there's something that's saying, oh, it's a nice day, we should go and enjoy the nice day, but I don't enjoy it. And so now I'm in a conundrum where I can't enjoy the thing I actually want to enjoy. So when it rains, I'm like, yes, no, I'm safe here.
Yeah, so
it's kind of like why I like going to hospital, because no one can ask you shit. They're like, hey, I'm in hospital. And they're like, oh my God. And you can just turn your phone off and just be like, sorry, I was in hospital. And everyone's like, just leaves you the fuck alone. It's amazing.
Well, I'm a shade seeker. So like I'll take the kids out in the sun, but the provisor is that I can find somewhere where like at least I'm in a shaded spot and then they can enjoy the sun, you know?
There's definitely a hack for that. You could have the thing and then...
Yeah, but at least then I'm partaking and not then suffering because of the direct contact with the sun, because I hate...
Why do you walk around with an umbrella?
Mm.
Yeah, no. That's like being a vegan, isn't it? It's like, come on.
Yeah, but just start coaching and pay someone to do it.
That moves us on to the next subject quite nicely, actually.
Is it umbrellas?
Just quickly go back onto the fasting. So that fasting, John Romano and Dave Colombo back in the day when they first started RX Muscle was banging on about that, and they did it for quite a few weeks. Not fasted for quite a few weeks, but they did it periods of fasting and they were big on it, like constantly going on about how amazing they feel, how much energy they've got, how their eyes were like so white, like everything felt just cleaned out, cleansed, because they were doing at the time they were like drinking olive oil, so they were just completely like basically doing like self colonics, and then fasting, and it's at the time it was intriguing because I've listened to Dave Colombo for forever, and it was just maybe everything goes full circle. Maybe it's coming back round and people are trying it again.
Was Dave doing it like when he was massive?
No, he was already retired.
Look at his fucking belly. Of course he wasn't.
He's a lot bigger than he is now, but he'd retired at the time. So RX Muscle started in 2009, but he was already retired as a bodybuilder by then.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, though, isn't it? Like, obviously, maybe the fact that after the extremes he pushed through, the fact that he's still alive, you probably should take something from the health tips he gives, but I wouldn't necessarily take any bodybuilding tips from him. He
looks fucking crazy, though, doesn't he? I feel like he should be in films.
Yeah.
Like, as the bad guy. He just looks fucking mental. Fucking love it. It's just the most intense looking human ever.
It's like he's dieted all the fat off his face. It never came back.
Yeah. He looks like he could dissolve you, like with his eyes. What's that film where the guy's like face melts off? Anyway, that one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, obviously the fact that Dave Colombo's still alive and kicking and doing all right, given the extremes he pushed through, he might have some good nuggets in there in terms of health.
Did you see some of his diet, some of his bulking diet, where it was like a Big Mac chaser, like with every meal?
He did McDonald's every day for it was something like 10 years, something like that. Every pre-workout, McDonald's every day before he trained. And he swears to this day that he's not advising that's what people do, but he reckons a lot of his gains he got back in the day was from McDonald's.
What, in his midsection or?
Sign me up.
So yeah.
Well, that's all the advice I need. I'm going to write Ant an email right now.
I expect to see McDonald's on my diet next week.
Yeah, yes. I'm getting terrible deja vu about this conversation. Anyway, moving on.
I hate doing that happens. Fucking shit. Right, okay, so vegan bodybuilding.
Fuck it. Next.
No, it seems to be a thing now, and people seem to have this philosophy that they can become, because of that whole like thing that Arnie got paid to do on Netflix a while ago, which was complete fucking bullshit, as we all know. A bunch of people jumped on the bandwagon, and now they all think that they can be fucking pro bodybuilders and what have you. But don't be wrong, there's exceptions to the rule, because there's guys or girls who are genetically elite who would have got it either way. But as a rule of thumb, what's your thoughts on vegan bodybuilding then, Rob? I'm not going to just fill the spot up with me ranting about it. Give us your thoughts, pal.
I mean, if that's what people want to do, if they want to be a vegan bodybuilder,
efficiency of it, realistically,
they're only going to get so far. Yeah, then they're not. Then I can't ever see that they're going to make it to the elite level. Being a vegan bodybuilder, it's almost scientifically impossible. Could someone do it? Like you said, there's always exceptions to every rule. But then if there is that person that comes along and they've made it to the top as being a vegan bodybuilder, are they telling the truth?
Yeah, or you wonder what could have been if they were.
Yeah. It's just it's, you know, we're carnivores by nature. Our bodies repair and grow muscle from animal protein primarily, and best we grow and recover the best from animal protein. So it's almost, like I say, it's just I just think it's people just trying to create attention, you know.
I mean, obviously the body's amazing at doing many things, but we're asking a lot of it. And like the time, like through humans evolving, there were times where things were scarce and we could eat other stuff and we could maintain and survive. But we're not looking to just do that, are we? You know, obviously humans adapted to various different parts of the world to being able to live on stuff, but that's to live. Like you can live on like primarily just rice. You can do it. And you can obviously live, it's the only, with zero carbs. Like we've got options, but when it comes to like building tissue, the way that you'd have to, even just to get close, the way you'd have to design your vegan meals to be elite level would be just incredibly time consuming and also incredibly voluminous. Like the amount of volume you'd have to do, making sure that the sources that you had matched the amino profiles of the other sources and they were balanced. I don't know if it's possible, the amount of food that you'd have to eat volume wise to come anywhere close to something as like nutrient dense as animal protein. So I just don't see how you do it. Like you said, maybe there's someone who's the absolute genetic pinnacle that can eat very little protein and do it, but it's not happened yet. A lifetime vegan hasn't happened in the pro stage, as far as I'm aware.
Maybe someone that is myo deficient. What's the word I'm looking for?
Myostatin.
Myostatin deficient. They're already on a crazy advantage anyway if they're myostatin deficient. So because they can build muscle and repair muscle at a much greater rate than the normal human being. So if someone comes along who's a vegan bodybuilder that's myostatin deficient, then maybe it's possible then.
It's just, you see about the people, it's like, oh yeah, you know, international, but because there was a thing, wasn't there, international powerlifter, vegan and all that sort of stuff, and it's like, and then when you read into him, it's like, well, he turned vegan like 3 years ago, so maybe you could like maintain what you had. Maybe that's possible. Like, I just think, look at the very basic data.
Yeah,
it's fucking unlikely. I've not seen it. Like,
no, it's, you know, it's how we train, what we put our bodies through. You know, we're causing trauma. We're breaking down muscle tissue. You know, we're causing damage to our own bodies. So if you're not providing it with the right nutrients to repair and rebuild that damage, how it doesn't compute. It just doesn't fucking work.
And what happens when you do that without the correct nutrients? You get the opposite.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean,
we've got to caveat this because we're three meatheads who our lifestyles are aimed towards adding as much muscle as possible and being as big as possible. So I guess it's relative to your lifestyle, but we are aiming with our conversation, and our bias is aimed towards being.
We're only saying this from like if you want to be the best of the best bodybuilder, it's very fucking unlikely, if not physiologically impossible. But for everyone else, like, yeah, man, do it. Like,
yeah, we're not saying for sure. We're not saying a vegan bodybuilder can for sure develop a great physique and look amazing.
Yeah.
We're not saying they can't. We're not saying that's not possible, because that certainly is possible. But we're saying we all agree we don't think to get to the elite level in the sport of bodybuilding it's possible. Yes. But I would love to see it, and I welcome anyone that wants to give it a try, like, for sure.
So it's the same thing as, like, obviously people like things like a keto diet. You know, keto diets work well. Ask the top 10 Olympians if they dieted on keto going to the Olympia. The answer is no, they fucking didn't. Because so keto is efficient at a certain goal and for a certain standard of physique, etc. But to be holding as much tissue as possible and to be, you know, that upper echelon, like sort of super heavyweight bodybuilding sort of territory, it's just not suitable really long term. Short term blips here and there maybe. But it's a similar thing, I guess, with vegan bodybuilding. Like, vegan bodybuilding, like you said, is possible, but
you're going to be at a disadvantage with either of those things. And from a vegan standpoint, the I don't think you can outwork it. I don't think you can outwork the difference.
And generally, vegans don't work hard anyway, do they? So I just throw that hand grenade in there.
What's happened to, talking of vegan bodybuilders, what's happened to Vegan Gains? Can you remember him? Him and I know him because him and Dave Plumber had a spat one time, like they're back and forth. There's this guy called Vegan Gains on YouTube. He had like a crazy following, and he started having digs at Dave, and Dave started fucking going back at him, and it got quite intense. It was highly entertaining at the time, but yeah, he just seems to have gone really quiet, like. And he was a vegan bodybuilder, and
he was probably filmed eating a chicken nugget.
Yeah, he probably said, watch me do it, and then he couldn't do it. So
yeah, it was like road to pro as a V. Oh no, yeah, it's always a worry when you do a road to pro, and you do.
Just give me a second, boys. I need a PP.
A PP.
You can carry on.
PP.
Thank you.
We were going to sit in silence.
Yeah. What was the fucking the next one?
I just wanted to talk about, because you had your head turned to the side. We got some feedback on your friend on last week as well, didn't you?
Oh yeah. I can't remember what the feedback was. Initially, when I put a video up, everyone was like, "Oh, you forgot to cut your hair." I was like, "No, it's Timmy Tumor." Timmy Tumor.
You have had it checked, though, haven't you? Surely.
No.
For fuck's sake.
I've done the test. I'd be dead if it was anything bad. I'd already be dead. So I've done the test.
I mean, yeah, that stands up. I think so.
That's science.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You should grow your hair a bit longer, just so early.
Well, I think when it's longer, it looks worse because it like looks like a bald patch. So I think actually, well, luckily, because I'm quite tall, not a lot of people like can see it.
Well, you could do like a mini comb over.
Oh yeah, well just on. Imagine that this is a head, and just have a little like just that big.
do it a day.
All right, it's on for the next podcast. I'll have a mini comb. Yeah, it's my barber that first found it. It was like this thing, and I was like, yeah. And obviously, I tried stabbing it and stuff. There's nothing fun in it. I was hoping I could do like a video for like Dr. Pimple Popper and like have that sort of fun, but I'd cut it out myself, but it's quite awkward. I don't know how I would do it.
But I missed this. What is that?
Timmy Tumor. Timmy. It looks like a little naked mole rat living in my skull.
His theory is it's benign because he hasn't died yet.
Yeah, science.
Well, it looks like a big ass tick.
Yeah, I could market it as that.
I've told him he should grow the hair around it and do a comb over.
Yeah, I'm on that. That's not a bad plan. I tried to do it for the rest of my face. See if I could cover that better.
Right, okay. The next subject is one that was specifically asked for by the BPN.
By me? I asked it.
Yes.
Did I?
Oh, that's how good your memory is.
I must have been drunk.
We're talking about old school photos and how the quality...
That wasn't me. That was Rob.
Was it?
Yeah, I'm waiting for Rob's take on it because I had a feeling I knew where it was going.
Okay, anyway, let me just clarify.
Okay. Set the scene.
So, we all see these old school photos of people, especially a lot of these older guys who will claim condition was better back in the day than it is these days, which in some cases there are some arguments for it, but how much of it is actually true? How much of it is that we were taking photos on essentially old Polaroids and they literally granulated to fuck and they look like they're far more conditioned than they actually are. So that's kind of the subject. What's your thoughts, Rob?
Yeah, I've thought this for a while because it's an ongoing debate constantly in this industry that bodybuilders back in the 90s were far more better conditioned, in far more leaner, and I've thought this a lot, were they or is it just simply because the technology we're using today is a more realistic shot of the physiques on stage today than they were back in the 90s? So because of the technology back in the 90s, are them pictures equivalent to someone now filtering the fuck out of them on Instagram?
What do you mean, like tuning up the structure?
and or whatever they do to make them look grainy and fucking gnarly and like, you know what I mean? Is that what was happening on these pictures that we see from the 90s just simply because that's what the technology showed us,
I see what you mean for some of the footage. There's a Marcus Rule Night of the Champions, and that's probably like the one where like everyone looks absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, like
and it's like, but I'm wondering whether someone's lifted the footage and added something onto that one particularly, because there's that one thing. It's like Marcus Rule. It's like the lineup's fucking and everyone looks like nothing. But then in the technology debate, it's like, was there just the 90s where it looked like that? Because then we look at like the 60s and the 70s when arguably the technology was worse. They definitely didn't look more conditioned. So there's a snapshot, isn't there?
Yeah, it's like a period of time that, particularly the 90s, where is that technology that was used then during that decade advantageous to how the bodybuilders looked on stage?
Yeah, I mean, we're at a bit of a deficit here because I didn't see any bodybuilding shows there and look at the footage to know. I mean, there's definitely someone. I mean, a lot of the people saying this have experienced both firsthand. So like, obviously looking at what I mean, even the footage now, you go and look at like the videos, and if you were there, it's not the same. And I do actually think a lot of the footage does actually make them look worse now at the moment. I think I don't know whether the lighting setups seem to be like very exaggerated in the 90s as well. The lighting setups were amazing, and a lot of the shows like now don't seem to be putting as much effort into the lighting.
Well, the difference I think there is in the 90s they set the lighting up for the bodybuilders and for the physiques to look the best they can look, whereas now they set the lighting up for the crowd, for the visual effect that it has on the audience rather than the bodybuilder and their physiques.
Yeah.
Because back then you had black drops, and nowadays you get all fucking digital screens, flickering lights and everything going on behind them, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely fucking annoying.
Yes.
Well, that's the thing about the modern day stuff. So you look at, like, weirdly, I don't know why, but Ian Valier gets a lot of backlash every time he wins a fucking show. But in reality, you look at the stage photos of him, he always looks like really washed out. But then you see a photo somebody's managed to capture, and you'll see just the condition and the fucking gnarliness to his physique. And it is always an element you kind of got to be there to see people who are really, truly in that level of condition, because you can't see it through a lens. But I think now the cameras are that good that essentially it's going to make bodybuilders a lot worse than they actually were. And I honestly do believe that back then, the cameras, the technology, and the lighting and all of that stuff we just discussed made them look better than they were. We can't say that confidently, like Dan said, because we weren't there. But unfortunately, the guys who are talking about this generally are the guys who were competing back then. So their argument is always going to be that their era was better than the era of these days. But also, you've got to bear in mind that they are different physiques as well these days, completely different physiques. Like, look at the condition of the classic class now. That's not worse than what it was back then. The classic class is fucking inside out right now, and that's the same size as the bodybuilders were back then. So if you were going to compare apples with apples, that's what you should compare.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there was like from a technical standpoint, the old footage was analog, and then there was digital, and the first part of the digital changeover would have been technologically the shittest, because analog has an infinite resolution, and you could only view it on analog like machines, basically. Obviously your TV was set into projections of dots, so you would have a resolution on your like TV or your screen or wherever you were seeing them. But as far as like an actual photograph, like printed, is infinite resolution. Is better than any digital photograph, because it doesn't have a resolution. It's the light burnt onto a material that reacts to light. Like, so from a technical standpoint, the only change in that is the lensing and the adjustment to light that the lens can actually capture to like burn it on. So it could be not that the image is like worse in terms of resolution, but the contrast of light wouldn't be captured as well. So that would maybe like make it look like the shadowing was more extreme than it was. But I don't know, on some of them as well, like, I don't know, in some of the nights, I wasn't even, you can see a pinch of skin, right? Doesn't matter what the camera's like. You can see what a pinch of skin looks like. And I still, you know, the glute insertion, it's always like, that's the bit that I'm like looking at. I'm seeing a few more pinches, not at the very, very top, but like in the mix, there's some pinching, or like a little bit of skin that I think would have been picked up from there. But like I said, I don't fucking know, I wasn't there. I think you'd have to find someone impartial, like a commentator or a judge or something, that is a fan of both eras in a similar way.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you was to speak to a photographer that was doing the photography in the sport at the top end of the sport in the 90s and he's still doing it now, that's going to be your guy to speak to find out the answer. But, you know, we're not that guy.
That's our request to the audience. Does anyone know? Shoot us some names in the comments, #blessed. See if we can see whether there has been like an impact. I mean, the era of the explosion of the 90s was like because there was a huge advancement, wasn't there? And everyone like came in, and the level was just exploding and exploding, and people were seeing things year on year of stuff they'd never seen before. The Dorian, the the Ronnie, like it was brand new. No one had ever seen anything like that. So anyone who's there is going to have like imprinted that emotion onto that happening of like the first time, the first time anyone deadlifted 400, the first time Eddie Hall like deadlifted 500. It's like those are pinnacle moments, and the 90s was stacked with pinnacle advancements in physiques. And now, like when someone's like the new, my God, they're so massive, it's Big Ramy, and it's like, well, he's soft most of the time. We're like really like reaching that the constraints, the drugs, the technology, the information, the stuff like that. Whereas like before, they were still finding their feet, and I don't know, it was just nothing that anyone had ever seen before.
It was the first era of super freaks, wasn't it? And like you say, because of that, it was so much more impactful than it is now, because we're used to seeing freaks now, so it's kind of normal.
Imagine that posing of Samson at 325 pounds with like all of his abs on display happened in the 90s. People would be losing their fucking mind. Now it happens. People are like, oh, Samson looks good.
Yeah, exactly. So it's almost, you become desensitized to a degree, because the more you see something, the more you get used to it, the more it becomes normal, And
the development of the human mind, the strongest memories of are ones linked to emotion. Those are the memories that you seal the greatest. That's why trauma is such an issue. But even with music, the oldest memories in Alzheimer's are music for the youth. If you're a bodybuilding fan, and the first times of your youth when you were like the things that were like into your brain that were like the wow things, the people that actually experienced that, they're not even being biased. Like those were the greatest emotional moments like of their life. Like seeing like Ronnie Coleman come out for the first time, seeing Dorian in '93, just like what the fuck, like
coming away from like the photo thing. As a rule of thumb, I don't know if you guys agree, but standard of amateur bodybuilding is nosedive now in comparison to what it was 90s and early 2000s and what have you. And I guess the guys now, as a rule of thumb, are so much bigger. It's difficult to compare, but it's so accessible, bodybuilding, and so normal for people to go to the gym and people to compete now. You're always going to it's going to bleed into the sport, because you've got people who don't have the mental fortitude for this sport doing this sport because it's acceptable to be doing it and it's cool, and people don't tell them they look shit anymore.
That's the problem.
I'll see photos on Instagram, people are all blowing smoke, and I'm like, am we looking at the same one? And this is quite funny actually, because I probably shouldn't name her, but I'm sure she won't mind. So Violet Schwartz trains in Planet Fitness now, and she's obviously IFBB pro. She's older. She's seen all the years. She used to be with Bernie Cooper and all that. And there was a couple of guys who competed this year from Planet, and she came up to me. She went, "The fuck is going on?" She said, "These guys, they compete and they don't have any muscle." And she just shouted out on top of her voice, and I'm like sat there pissing myself laughing. And other people are like, "You can't say that. You can't say that." But she was fucking so right. She's just like, these guys, they competed.
Do you think though that if you actually took all of, because now there's multiple opportunities for the pro card and people are swimming around and stuff, do you think if they reintroduced like the UK BFF and all of like the best of the amateurs came, do you reckon it would actually be a nosedive?
No, but
it's just that they're thinly spread.
On a show-by-show basis, haven't you? Look at a show-by-show basis.
And also there's a lot of padding now. The shows take so long. But yeah, you're right. Someone who's like doesn't really know that much goes and wins a show, and they're like, that's validation. I am amazing now. And like actually, and then obviously they're a coach, and we're gonna do that again. But like there's something for like everyone, every level of competition. There is someone, and also a lot of these shows are coming up so like very low in numbers that people that would not have got are looking, especially like NABBA now, like the NABBA West was like, the guy one was good, but there was no one there.
The
No.
Yeah, let's be honest, right? I got second to NABBA British last year. 10 years ago, I'd have been lucky to crack top 6.
NABBA Britain back in the day was fucking like 30 strong, and everyone's one of the champions from their area. You know, each like even just like remember the Northwest was a really strong show, and it's like, well now like the universe doesn't even look like that. It's like so we've got more people for sure, but I think the top of the top, probably the pool's probably quite similar if they were to do like the old UK BFF, but the bits in between are now like there's a huge like middle bit, isn't there?
I think there's going to be an even bigger drop off now, though. If you think about it, because the pro card is it's far more, I wouldn't say so accessible, because that's an insult to you, Dan, because obviously you'd have one by now otherwise. But in reality, it's far more accessible now than it was. So those who are at the upper, level, so you've seen the likes of Reece McDonald and Jordan Gomez and all them taking pro cards recently, who would have been regarded as one of the top amateurs in the UK. And you look at Josh Lowe, it's only a matter of time before he gets his, and yourself. And then it gets to a point then, who's backfilling those? Like, there isn't, is there, in reality?
Yeah, I didn't see Reece coming, and he was fucking phenomenal. And NPC, like Two Bros are picking condition better this year. I don't know if anyone else has spotted that. Like in the past show, it was all like size and shape, and like they are picking like condition. I think Gomez is the next Dean White. I think like now he's got a good momentum and a good relationship with Martin, who's very good at molding people that like just need that boost up. Like Jordan will do fucking amazing. He's got amazing structure and stuff like that. And but it is obviously, it is a totally different ballpark to all playing for one. Because look at Dean, like Lesniak, like he just never got that opening. It wasn't even that he wasn't good enough. There was always someone that they could have given it to because they just didn't really like him that much. Whereas now he'd be so far ahead of people in, go abroad or whatever, like they'd have to. It would be too obvious. It would be too obvious to not give it to him. So a lot of people like Haroldus, do you remember him? Yeah. He never got it. And then the first person that actually was able to win a pro card outside of that was Daz Ball. That was the first.
He got his pro card in the Arnold, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what I mean. But that was the first year that they were even allowed to do that.
Yes.
And Daz Ball was banging at the door for a while still, and he was an absolute fucking mutant. Go back and watch the podcast if you like. So I think it's. I mean, obviously, it's good for the sport, maybe because it's more
revenue.
It's more revenue for the people, but as well, like from a spectator's standpoint, going to a show now is generally pretty shit.
Yeah.
Like you used to go to pretty much any NABBA regional, and there was like at least 10 fucking serious dudes turning up. Yeah. And especially at the British, go to Britain, it was a fucking show. There were freaks pouring out. I remember when they put the British final as part of the pro show in Body Power in 2012. Like, it was fucking nuts. It was fucking nuts to watch. I think that was the year Barney DePlacis was there. He would have weird teardrops, but he was fucking inside out. And probably and Dave Titterton was the most conditioned thing I'd ever seen in my life. It was disgusting.
I had no choice because that they hated people coming from that.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it didn't have the nicest physique, but it looked. You were just like, just even to exist at that point. And so, from a spectator's point, so no one goes to shows. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one. Would you go to a show now to see like two physiques?
The only people are going are the bikini supporters and the men's physique mates.
And they fucking leave. By the time, but that was why they changed the bodybuilders to 4, because all the physique guys and their supporters with their t-shirts and tattoos of them or whatever on their face, they'd buy all the tickets. You couldn't buy a ticket, and then they'd all leave. And I started to see it when I did, I can't remember, a couple of shows for the UK BFF. By the time I got to overall, no one's there.
Yeah. You announced the overall, and there's just one guy.
Yeah, literally like one guy. The cameraman's like, fucking hell, what a long. Like, so, I mean, but at least there has been a bit of a round off of the physique category, because that was a annoying period when that fucking exploded. Like every regional show was like 40 physique.
Do you guys know much about this new cap the IFBB have brought in? Then I haven't really looked into it. But...
Well, now some of the physique guys are too heavy to do classic, so it's going to shake up some fucking moves. I think it's absolutely the right thing to do.
I agree. It was getting silly. They were getting massive, weren't they?
Yeah, they were
getting ridiculous.
Yeah, it was like amateur. Like they'd be told they're way too big. As soon as they turn pro, they're just fucking monsters. Monsters. We're talking super heavyweight bodybuilders in shorts. You know, so I think it is obviously it's going to fuck some people off. They're going to have to move into classic, which is like an impossible division at the moment. Like structurally, the top of the food chain in classic is just like even more genetics than super heavies, because it's like you have to be that shape, and if you're not that fucking shape, you're never going to get anywhere.
There's going to be a lot of guys in physique now that are kind of in no man's land now, which you know. It needed it because it was getting ridiculous. So by bringing in these these weight caps for physique, it's gonna thin out the division to a degree for sure.
All them years of skipping leg day have now backfired.
Exactly, because it's not like they can just move into bodybuilding, so they've got no fucking legs.
And but you think about how heavy they are without legs, they'd be Samson territory with legs.
I mean some of them have got massive legs. So yeah, I think it's a good thing. It might actually make it mildly interesting to see who ends up in classic.
Let's be fair, not many of them. Let's not give them.
Not many. I wouldn't have bothered training legs if I didn't have to.
I don't think you did you?
I did, just nothing happened.
Sorry, man. I had to get a dig.
I'm too ugly to be a men's physique. And it was either that or wheelchair. I thought,
Do you ever think about that when you're at the top of the stage?
It's quite a commitment, isn't it? To like,
I'm
in a wheelchair.
At the top of the stage, do you ever think to yourself, well, if I just slipped, I'd be an IFBB pro.
I could be a champion. Yeah, it's crossed with me.
No, you're just not committed enough, man.
I don't want it bad enough. That's my problem.
Ellis, if you're listening.
I think, like, kind of going back onto, what Dan was saying, the amount of shows now and the amount of people that compete, and obviously it's fashionable and it's cool now. Back in the day when we all started, it was a niche sport. It was kind of weird to compete, I think just the society of today, people they want their egos to be stroked, don't they? They want that medal hanging on the back of their bedroom door. Doesn't matter how they get it, what division they go for. They just want to be able to say, "I won first place in Timbuktu division."
Put this way, Rob. Right at the NABA Wales last year, nobody was in class 4. One of the boys. We don't get on particularly well, so I'm not going to say anything about him, but he turned up, realized there was nobody registered, went home. He wasn't in show shape, went home, got some tan and some...
Nah, you're fucking joking, aren't you?
Got on stage, took the winner's trophy, posted online about how he just won class 4 at the Welsh, would refuse to come out in the overall.
You're fucking joking me, aren't you? You fucking... That
is gangster.
You've been fucking real now. That actually happened.
It actually happened last year. Actually happened. And the worst thing about it, the entry fee for you might have just gone to the local trophy shop and just get whatever trophy you want for the same fucking price. Just fucking save yourself the hassle. Like.
The worst thing, he wasn't lying.
He wasn't. No, but that's the thing. That's all relative then, isn't it? For the rest of his life now, he's got that trophy. You're like, okay, I won the Mr. Wales.
Yeah, I mean, that's just How has someone got the like? What self pride is there in that? You know.
Well, the thing that made it worse for me was I had prepped and I was the only one who turned up for class 1. So he went in the same vein that I did, but I spent fucking 16 weeks and that's what I was eating Dominoes.
Oh God. Well, it's not as bad as when I came to Wales.
Well, yeah.
And they said, no, you can't win. And I was like, but we don't have a West show, and you told me to come here and compete. And they went, yeah, you can compete, but you're not allowed to win.
Technically, Dan, you didn't beat me.
Yeah, it was funny because I stood out with everyone else, and then I was like given this little plaque that said like "fuck off and die" or whatever. And then they walked me off, and then they did the show with everyone else.
The worst thing is you'd have pissed all over fucking Neil Andrews on that overall as well.
I really did want to beat Neil Andrews because he'd beaten me before, and it was just. But yeah,
What year was this?
2018. I did win the British overall, so I made up for it. But I was fuming.
But that was the proof in the pudding, really, because obviously you came, did class 1. Everybody was like, "What the fuck is this? The guest poser? Nobody, what the fuck is this guy?" And then they didn't give him like the opportunity to win anything, and then said he couldn't do the overall. And then Neil Andrews won his 25th Mr. Wales overall title. Went to the British then like 2 weeks later, and Dan just smashed everyone. So yeah, it was validation there.
I had to do some breathing techniques on the day.
So, what class was you in, Supers?
It's 1, isn't it? Naba's height.
Oh, it's in Naba's, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the year 2017. I came in peeled and won the class 1. 2018, I came in completely off the money, and this man turns up and makes me look even fucking worse. So I was completely off the pace, and then I turned up and was fucking huge and inside out. And that was with, like, I knew of Dan anyway, but that's when I backstage, I just remember being behind him, looking at his traps, walking out, going, "Fuck, what am I doing?" And then we got talking, and I was like, "I want this man to coach me." that was where the relationship started, actually, ironically.
I want the game. Yeah, so, well, it was all right in the end. The story ended up all right, but I did want a sword. Actually, no, Amv put a sword in his show.
We've got the same one, haven't we?
Yeah. So I went and did Amv's show and won a sword in the end, so it was all okay.
So, Johnny, I want to ask you a question. You might have already probably spoke about this on one of your past shows. I'll be honest, I've not listened to all the shows.
You fucking dickhead. Neither have I. When I was on.
Do you know what? I was religiously listening to all your shows after I'd been on the first time. But with me, and it's probably the same for you guys, when I get deep in prep, I just end up doing nothing. Like, I don't watch any of my normal shit I watch on YouTube. I don't listen to my normal podcasts. I go into like this fucking hole, and that's...
You've got no attention span for anything.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I've watched some since, but anyway, where I'm going with this is, you retired at one point, Johnny.
Not at one point, mate.
There's been a few. There's been a few.
At one point.
You did like this big announcement. You won it. Like, it was the best you'd ever been. You got your sword. You were like going out on a high, and then next thing I knew, you're prepping again. So what happened?
So what happened was, so my theory was essentially I didn't know by coming second at the British that I had a universe invite, right? And obviously for me, being an old school bodybuilder, coming through from NABA, Dan being the universe fucking champion once upon a time, I thought, what am I going to regret more? Am I going to regret going out now, having won that sword, and then not taking up the invite, or going? My trajectory last year was going up. I was getting better. Whereas for a long time, that wasn't the case. So going through prep of last year, I was like, right, for me, I know the score with my pec, that there's only so far I'm going to go. And I didn't honestly expect to get an upward trajectory in terms of my physique, which is what ended up happening. So I had sold this idea to myself that I was going to retire and that I was coming away from the sport. And then to end on a high and have an invite to the universe and honestly feel like I could have done something at the universe. The result is a different fucking story, however. But I honestly thought that had there been a strong lineup and had I had a fair crack at it, that I would have done well, you know, for me, relatively speaking. I you know, didn't imagine actually winning it or anything, but that's the way my thought process went. And the irony is that then I did, earlier in that year, I competed at 105 kilos. We came back, I did the IBFA UKs, which I won, and then did the NABI Universe at 100 and just over 110 kilos.
Right.
This is 6 months. Somehow, don't be wrong, it's probably a little bit crispier earlier in the year, but not by 5 kilos.
Yeah.
So having that consistency and staying with Dan as a coach has served its purpose for me. Whereas in the past, I would go through stages. I'd be like, Dan, I'm doing a show, fucking prep me. And then we'd stop, I'd finish prep and go, I don't need a coach. I can go eat pizza. And then I'd just get fat thinking I was getting big. And then I would start with the fucking prep.
That makes total sense, mate. Your body was on an upward trajectory, and it was like you was good momentum. You know, you was getting better and better. So, you know, it's like, well, fuck yeah, I may as well carry on then, because everything's responding, everything's working. Let's fucking keep going.
So it's the same as anything in life, and if you convince yourself of something, it'll be true. So there's been stages in my life where I'm like, well, the drugs and the lifestyle I need to have to be a good bodybuilder are not worth. It's not worth the risk. It's not worth it because of the kids, and it's not this, and this. So I'm selling myself the reasons why I shouldn't fucking do it. My pec, I have had a few decisions that go against me, which I don't feel like we're a little bit unjust, but we won't go there. But I was selling myself this fucking story, and I never really believed in myself. If you watch me in the IBFA overall, I was telling myself, I was literally prepping myself to pretend to be happy, because I just assumed it wasn't going to come my way. It's happened so many times, and I give this bravado outside that I've got confidence, but in reality I've got none. So the fact that Dan has managed to get me to a point where I actually like my physique, and I actually have a bit of confidence going into shows where I feel like I can actually win them, is a completely new feeling to me. I used to do them because for me, it was just routine. I loved the routine of doing it. But I know it sounds stupid, but I was one of them guys who just enjoyed the process. I wasn't getting particularly much back. I was 100 kilos as a junior, man. I was 100 kilos as a junior. And earlier last year, in the earlier shows, I was 105 kilos. And I've been competing since 2009. Like, that is not a lot of fucking, don't get me wrong, it's relative. I was in better condition and whatever.
Yeah, the body composition. I'm sure you look far better at 105 than you did at 100.
Yeah.
All these years later.
Look at these guys. You got to look at you. You look like you swallowed yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
Do I take it as a compliment?
I don't have that. But in last year, I did have a glimpse of that, which is why now I've gone, you know what? Dan's giving me that confidence, so I'm going to go into a proper off season.
And you realise you've got another gear.
Yeah, and do you know what? I'm sitting around 300 pound now, like it's nothing. Whereas back in the day, if I touched 280, I feel like I was going to die. Do you know what I mean?
But that's where your body's kind of reached a new normal. You know, it's that's how it works, isn't it? You kind of just
Each time you push over, your normal stays. You kind of dip in and dip out, but that normal's just floating. Just a little bit of where you feel like okay. Yeah, I remember the first time hitting like 290 and I thought I was actually going to die. And now like 290 is like a pretty standard, like pretty normal. I obviously got my fucking CPAP on and sweating like a cunt, but like it's sustainable. When I go over 300, like in 3 or 5s and 10s, like it gets ropey again. I'm probably not going to do a push much further higher than that anyway, because I don't compete that heavy. I'm actually not a heavy person. You see people of similar, like what look like similar muscularity competing 20, 30 pounds heavier than me.
Yeah. You look great though, Johnny. You look really fucking good, mate. Really good.
It means a lot coming from you. Obviously, Dan just tells me I look shit all the time. So
no,
you didn't.
I said you looked good. I just didn't blow. I didn't have an orgasm.
I just give the whole spiel about how you've given me confidence, pal. I can't give you too many.
Yeah, that's true.
You got to give it one.
Johnny is going to retire at least 5 more times. Don't worry.
No.
How old are you again, mate? How old are you again, Johnny?
Yeah, I'm 34.
He's a fucking baby, isn't he, Dan?
37 shows deep, mind.
Yeah, I mean that's probably double what I've done, I reckon.
Yeah, I reckon it's double what I've done as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I reckon 50% of those, I'm just turning up for the crack. Nothing.
Well, no, in your, no, you wasn't. Like you at the time, you was giving it your all. Do you know what I mean? You was doing the best that you thought you could do. But when you look back now, because you're a completely different standard now.
Yeah, no, but I'm a massive hypocrite because I used to tell people used to ask me for advice, and I'd be like, "Off season, it's got to be just as hard as a prep, if not harder." And I just didn't do it. I just didn't. I would tell people that's what they needed to do, and then just wouldn't listen to my own advice. Just a massive hypocrite.
Yes.
Simple as that, really.
It is that, and with everything as well. You're not just training your body; you're training your mind. And when those start aligning, you realize you've got another gear, and then another gear, and then you get old like me and you're fucked. But before that, there were other things.
I was doing it for all the wrong reasons, like little things. I'd have a divorce, and I'd be like, I should prep. This will distract me. I have a bereavement in the family. I should prep. And like most people are like, I probably shouldn't prep now. My head's long. I'm the opposite. I'm like, yeah, this is great. This gives me a distraction. So then I'd be competing for all the wrong fucking reasons.
Yeah, but mate, that's really, it's a blessing that your mind was probably programmed like that, because most people probably turn to drinking drugs.
Yeah.
Whereas you didn't. In times of mourning, times of hard, difficult times, you turn to prep because that's what helps keep your mind out of the gutter, and keep you going. So, yes, you probably was going into prep, not in the right kind of perfect scenario, but it essentially probably saved you from going down some even deeper, darker paths,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'll take the wins. I'll take the small wins. But yeah, I don't think I did in large parts of my bodybuilding, I haven't done myself justice. But I'm just glad that Dan's given me that perspective now, because even when I first started this podcast with Dan, I even said then, just being in contact with the likes of Dan, did allow me to just throw that stuff to fucking line up. Whereas I thought I was pretty hardcore at the time. It's all relative, isn't it? It's all relative. Like it's perspective. Perspective is everything. And up until that point, I was like, yeah, I'm fucking ticking all the boxes. I was like, fuck.
There's always more boxes, mate. And I'm, it's just when you think you've nailed it, there's something else to nail. It's an endless journey, but then also that's what makes it so good. If there was a finish point, then it would finish. There's only one finish point, that's Mr. Olympia. That's certainly not happening for me. It's a never-ending story, and that's the appeal. It is obviously that is also its downside as well, because you're never happy. Not like happy, I'm not happy, but you're never content with the finished product. You see the people that actually have that ego and have that thing, and they do one show and they're happy, they're done. That's not enough mentality to put yourself into going up again. It's not enough. Bodybuilding to look a certain way isn't enough of a drive. It has to come from something else. It has to, because what you're doing is fucking insane. It can't. The people who have been able to go, I want to look like that and do that and manage it, are the genetic elite. Everyone else, it comes from a different place. It has to be more important. And the goals that you set yourself should be the most important on the planet. And that's why I like doing it. And then people will say that's like a selfish thing, but I think that any promises that you make to yourself should be worth more than anything else in the world. Otherwise, what have you got?
Fuck me, I've never heard truer words in my life. And that's the thing these days, that people have spent so much time trying to make other people happy and make sure everybody else is not offended. Nobody's willing to commit to themselves. It's fucking bonkers.
Well, they say on the plane, please fit your mask before helping others.
Yeah, that's just so that you don't die first. But anyway,
but you can't. But then you can't help them if you're dead. But my favorite is still in the event that we're landing on water. You've crashed. That's what's happened. You've crashed.
Yeah, brace. So you're breaking.
The planes that land on the water have the floaty bits. This is not one of them. It's a 747. You're going to
die. So you said about the pinnacle being Mr. Olympia. There is one person on this podcast that could potentially do that.
You only mentioned me.
What's that?
I only ruled myself out.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I mean. But I wanted to just kind of transition into that next question. So I know there's a baby on the way, Rob, and I'm not sure how you're going to manage.
Is the baby going to be Mr. Olympia?
Yeah,
I think
that's what I meant.
the baby's got more chance than me of ever being Mr. Olympia. I'm going to be honest, boys.
No, but getting to the Olympia, I think that's
Getting to the Olympia is obviously, once you turn pro, and you start competing as a pro, that's the goal, isn't it? That's the me. If I can ever get on that Olympia stage, if I qualify for that, to me that is winning Mr. Olympia. That would be the ultimate for me, because realistically, I know I'm never going to be a top echelon bodybuilder. Probably a bit too long in the tooth for that now.
It's all about ponds, Rob. You've switched pond, I'm afraid, and you're bottom of the order again. But
Yeah.
what's the competing goals? What's the next show? What's the
Well, since getting off stage last year, November, I was 7 months on TRT, just 1 mil a week, for 7 months. That's all I did. 200 milligrams of test sip, which kept my test levels in the normal range. He was keeping me around about 25, 26. So the high end of normal.
Yeah.
I felt great. I'll be honest. I feel amazing when I'm on just a mil a week. I love it. I love doing just one shot a week, and I feel great on that. Training's been going really well. Food, I'll be honest, I've even put back on my food during that time as well, because I'm quite a big believer in trying to allow the body to have a rest in all aspects, not just the drugs, but try and let your digestive system have a bit of a break as well, not continually cram and ram food in year round. That's just how I am when I'm in an off season kind of downtime, so to speak. I will cut back on training frequency, food volume, and obviously also the drugs as well, because once we fell pregnant the first time and we unfortunately lost that, we then obviously we realized we were both fertile and we can have children, which is amazing. So we then decided, well, we'll just carry on and hopefully it'll happen again. So that was more important to me at that point than getting back on cycle and starting to think about prepping again, Now we're at this stage of hopefully everything's good and everything will work out. As of 2 weeks ago, I went back on and potentially might be looking at doing the last 2 shows of the year.
Ooh.
So how would that structure for you now? Would you need to go and do a push-up first?
Yeah, I've pushed my food up. Not crazy amounts. I'll be honest, I don't have a crazy appetite. I'll be honest, in the off season. As soon as I start prep, my appetite goes the opposite way, and I can eat insane amounts of food. But then I think that's how we all are, in it. When we can't eat, we want to eat, and when we can eat, we don't fucking eat.
Yeah, I used to dream of food, and then I did the last off season with Dan, and I pushed up to like whatever it was. It would have been close to 1,000 or something stupid. I was dreaming of prep, dreaming of feeling hungry. So yeah, definitely, I think we're all the same.
Yeah, we're never happy. I mean, that's just how it is. So yeah, it's basically I've got about 6 weeks from when I started back on to, if I'm going to prep, then I'll be starting prepping in about 4 weeks' time. If that's what I'm going to do, I haven't 100% decided, but most likely that's what I'm going to do.
What's driving you to do that then? Are you thinking you need to get as many shows in as possible? Is you think there's not many left in there, or how long do you plan on going?
No, I'll be honest. I feel great. Like, honestly, I do. I've just turned 40, but I don't feel my age. All my joints are good. My blood work's good. My body has, in them 7 months of just being on a meal a week, has held up really well. I maintained 250 pounds that whole time in not too bad condition, without really trying as well. Like I say, without, like, I wasn't pushing food in. Some days I was only eating 3 meals a day. I was just kind of eating when I wanted to eat. I wasn't, like I say, I wasn't forcing anything. And yeah, so I'm hoping. To be honest, I think because I've spent so long off this year that I'm probably going to grow into prep, because obviously the drugs are back in now. The food's going to be going back in, and when everything's kind of like that, it all comes together, and hopefully my body reacts really well. And
is that the longest you've had off since you started?
No. So up until 3 years ago, I used to come completely off, like off. Not for like 7 months.
That's what I meant, like a duration. Obviously, technically, TRT is, I guess, that is your new off, really, for you, isn't it? Because you're never going to be baseline again, are you?
No. Not my age now. It's coming completely off now. Would be just completely 50 steps back, and I would feel like absolute shit. So yeah, for me, the 1 meal a week is like being off now at the age I am. I couldn't afford to go completely off now, because like I said, I'll just fucking crash and feel like absolute death. But yes, that is the longest I've had off. Yeah.
You should expect quite a big response then.
The way I've been feeling this whole time, yeah, I think I'm going to respond well, because, like I say, without even trying, I've maintained my size, my strength. Even my strength in the gym has been pretty. I'm surprised. I'm even quite surprised how well I've been feeling as a whole. My energy, my strength, the size I've managed to maintain.
What about your joints?
My joints are great, mate.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Fuck
I mean, don't be wrong. We all do. There's the odd little niggle you get here and there, but I don't have any like recurring issues with anywhere on my body. Touch wood, Yeah.
Bodes well then.
Say again.
Bodes well. It should be.
Yeah, mate. I mean, I've always said, I'll keep competing, whatever I'm, one, enjoying it, two, not getting any worse, my physique, so I'm not regressing. And three, I'm healthy. As long as them three things are still there, then I'm going to keep going. Because to me, I think too many people get caught up in age, especially in bodybuilding. And I think 40 is almost like, in a lot of people's minds in this sport, it's almost like the end of the road. And it really isn't, because the way I'm feeling, I feel, if anything, it feels to me, it's given me like even more of a surgence of like energy and like even more motivation, because I'm like, yeah, I'll fucking show these young fuckers. I'll show them. I ain't fucking done yet, So it's almost like gives me even more fucking motivation.
I think the legs are always the tough one. I think people tend to, as their lives get older, they don't want to do those balls to the wall sessions. They don't want to do the spearing and the feeling shit for days after. So I think there is always coincidentally as you get older, those things will die off, your desire to doing that, and then hand in hand, then you'll tend to find that the tissue doesn't want to hang around so much. So if you're still willing to train with that level of intensity and stuff, and you're still feeling fresh, then why not?
And that's it, yeah. And obviously, starting a family might change my mindset. I'm not at that point yet, because obviously, we haven't had the child yet. But when babies come along and we start a family, my priorities might change.
Piss off! You'd be like, "Fuck it, I'm going to the gym." Bye.
It's my job. I'm a pro. It's my job.
Yeah, but then he hasn't got that argument, does he? Because his missus is a pro as well.
Bitch.
She's like, your turn.
Yeah. Yeah. So, no, mate, I just, I'm, like I say, whatever I'm still enjoying it. I'm healthy and my physique's not getting any worse.
That's the number one thing. I refuse to year on year get worse in a way that couldn't be rectified within a prep. Obviously, like fucking up condition or something like, yeah, maybe, but like deteriorating, like muscularity wise.
It's sad to see when you see that guy keep going too long, and it almost tarnishes their legacy, because you almost forget what they did look like and they did achieve, and you almost only remember what they ended up looking like. And I've always said, I don't want to fucking be that guy. Not that I'm ever going to be, again, I'll never be a big time bodybuilder, anyway, but, I don't want to be that guy that's still trying to hang on to.
You want to try and get to the best and put a line under it and duck out, not do a fucking Kevin Levrone.
Yeah, turn back up with like a men's physique.
Even if they don't want kids, I think there is a point where you probably will. And so although it's like, yeah, don't worry about it, do think about it.
Yeah, I think this generation now, when they're a little bit older, unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of regrets.
Mm.
Well,
in the reverse, my mum had me and I was the regret.
That's a perfect fucking bombshell.
All right. I love you both.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Take it easy.
Take care.